Chosen one, be aware, this is not a coincidence. If these words have reached you, heaven itself has arranged it. Even Elon Musk, a man who breaks the limits of science and technology, is being used as a symbol for what God is showing you now. Musk is known for reaching beyond the impossible, but what is happening in your spirit is even greater. It is divine, not earthly. Tomorrow is not just another day. It is a spiritual transition. The energy of the sun will expose fears, traumas, and hidden tensions that have long weighed you down. Yet God is preparing to lift those burdens. Just as Elon Musk dares to build rockets to break gravity, heaven is ready to release you from the weight of your past. But pay close attention. This cleansing will only come if you obey. Stay in the shade, honor the process, and let God's hand move. This is not weakness. It is your strength, proof that you are chosen. Like Musk breaking the rules of the world, you're being called to break the chains of the spirit. Your moment of renewal is here. Do not let this message disappear. Tomorrow, heaven will complete what it began, and you will rise as the chosen one you were always meant to be. Pause this video for a moment and do 3 things before we start this life-changing message. Press the like button, subscribe to help us achieve 90,000 followers, and leave a comment with the number 99. The energy of this movie will be amplified by this quantity, which will send a strong signal to the cosmos. And keep in mind that you will watch this video through to the conclusion if you are indeed a chosen one. Your spirit already understands, deep down, that this is for you. You may not survive if you are not prepared to accept this reality. However, your life will never be the same if you do. Let's get started now. A sacred watershed. Everything is different tomorrow. You cannot afford to disregard the plain and urgent message that God is delivering you. The sunshine you typically greet with wide arms will carry an extraordinary spiritual energy for causes that are out of the norm. Old scars that you believe to be healed or buried deep within might be uncovered by this energy. It will cause confusion and arouse fears, upending the entire basis of your heavenly relationship. Imagine the sun tomorrow not just as a source of warmth, but also as a force that will amplify all of your silent burdens, unsaid fears, and traumas. For this reason, God is requesting that you, His chosen one, stay completely out of the sun. This has nothing to do with weakness or fear. It has to do with safety. You need to protect your sensitive soul, just like you would a delicate flower from a violent storm. This heavenly warning is meant to protect you on a day of spiritual upheaval. Pay close attention. Now is the time to choose tranquility over mayhem. By staying out of the sun tomorrow, you put yourself in a position to be healed by God instead of experiencing the chaos that comes with exposure. This is an urgent, meaningful, and personal message. You need to take this important step first, but God is with you, preparing a great cleaning. Your spiritual path may be permanently altered by the decision you make tomorrow. The danger beneath the light. It is no accident that you are here. You have a special destiny since you are a chosen soul. However, big challenges accompany great intent. The sun will bring a unique force tomorrow, a threat concealed in brightness. It's possible that this energy can resurrect anxieties and traumas you believe to be behind you. It can cause anxiety to consume your thoughts and break the holy connection you have with God. Consider how certain medications have the potential to heal, yet they can also be uncomfortable if used improperly or in excess. The sun will do similarly tomorrow. It's not dangerous in and of itself, but for you right now, unplanned exposure could stoke feelings you don't want to confront all at once. Like a magnifying glass over parched leaves, the sun will intensify your inner tensions, ready to ignite a fire. God urges you to remain in the shadow for this reason. Your spirit will experience this change more profoundly than most since you are sensitive. However, your strength is sensitivity. It indicates that you are spiritually aware. By following this divine guidance, you make the decision to safeguard your holy energy and make yourself vulnerable to healing rather than damage. The sun of tomorrow is not a foe. It's a challenge and an opportunity to overcome your suffering. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. The sacred shield of the shade. Imagine the shade as a holy protection, a place where your soul may rest and recover, rather than merely a cool place to escape the sun. Similar to how immature plants need protection from harsh sunshine to flourish, you too need to discover this safe haven tomorrow. The shade will help you maintain your tranquility and protect you from the sun's harsh spiritual force. Consider the shadow to be a potent haven. Tomorrow, you're taking an active role in your own recovery when you sit in the shade. By choosing to keep your heart and mind safe, you're saying yes to God's plan. By protecting you from a flood of trauma and worry that may otherwise overwhelm you, this small deed serves as spiritual armor. It's a daily practice that combines self-care with obedience to God. You may show that you trust God's timing by accepting the shadow. You create a holy area inside of yourself where transformation may start softly, subtly, and effectively. As God gets ready to remove your old burdens tomorrow, the shade encourages you to relax and offers the promise of protection and rejuvenation. Your best ally is this hallowed haven, accepting your sensitivity to spirit. It's acceptable if you're feeling vulnerable at the moment. It's not weakness you're feeling. It demonstrates your deep spiritual awareness. Others could miss what your spirit sees. You possess a light that responds profoundly to the invisible forces in your environment, particularly tomorrow. Even while it might feel like a burden at times, this increased awareness is a blessing. The energy of the sun tomorrow may shake you because spiritually sensitive people experience joy and suffering more strongly. Don't be afraid of this sensitivity, though. Accept it. You have the power. Your spirit can detect small changes in the cosmos, indicating times of transformation, like a perfectly tuned instrument. One of those few times is tomorrow. It is a chance for God's healing mercy to strengthen your spirit. Recall that being unaffected is not what strength is all about. It's about having strong emotions and deciding to soar above the waves. You're ideally suited to go through this spiritual cleansing because of your sensitivity. You honor God's design when you respect it and take precautions. Your sensitivity will lead you to triumph tomorrow. You are a light fighter. A call to emancipation. Your difficulties are not unique to you. Every tear you cry, every restless night, every burdensome thought that weighs on your heart, your anxieties about the future, the hurt from past relationships, and the anxiousness that appears to appear out of nowhere are all seen by God. Everything is seen by God, and He is summoning you to a potent moment of emancipation tomorrow. It's more than a day. It's a heavenly call to release yourself from the bonds that have imprisoned you. These concealed sufferings are meant to be revealed by the sun's peculiar energy, but only if you allow yourself to be exposed to it. Instead, with God's assistance, you may let go of these worries by doing the sacred ceremony and remaining in the shadow as He has instructed. Imagine tomorrow as the pivotal moment when God will reach down and lift the burdensome bonds of your previous pain. This is your opportunity to start a new chapter in your life, one that is lighter, more liberated, and full of optimism. Have faith that God is watching over you and is prepared to lead you through this change. The sun as a source of spiritual energy. Tomorrow's sun is more than just a dazzling beacon. It's a strong trigger. It may bring back memories and emotions you believed were safely hidden if you expose yourself to its beams. With unexpected power, these past traumas will resurface, causing waves of worry and emotional turmoil that may seem overwhelming and unmanageable. Have you ever heard or smelled anything that instantly evoked a wave of recollections from your past? The sun of tomorrow will perform a similar function on a far deeper level. Like a spark, it will awaken emotions you've suppressed, such as grief, guilt, fear, or suffering. In addition to upsetting your tranquility, these feelings may impair your spiritual clarity, making it challenging to sense God's presence or hear His voice. Avoiding the sun is therefore more than simply a precaution. It's an essential self-preservation action. You may prevent this emotional outburst and set your heart up for a slow healing process by choosing to stay in the shade. The sunlight of tomorrow has the capacity to arouse strong, restless emotions, so be careful. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. A sword of energy with two edges. Tomorrow, the sun's beams will serve as a spiritual amplifier. This could serve as a wake-up call for some, a heavenly chance to discover more profound realities and reach higher states of awareness. However, for others, particularly those who are vulnerable or unprepared, the same energy may bring with it mental turmoil, spiritual bewilderment, severe anxiety, and hidden dangers. There are two sides to it. This unique energy has the capacity to bring about deep healing and unleash the possibilities of your soul when treated with kindness and respect. However, it may overwhelm and upset your spiritual equilibrium if you disregard or undervalue it. Your answer makes the difference. Will you risk being exposed, or will you answer God's command to protect yourself? Your experience of the special spiritual energy of this day will depend on the decision you make tomorrow. Have faith in God's wisdom and follow His guidance. The sun is neither a friend nor an adversary. It is a strong force that has to be treated with respect and prudence. The sacred release ritual. Your active involvement is necessary for the healing process of tomorrow. God is requesting that you write down on a plain white sheet of paper everything that weighs on your heart, including your trauma, sadness, and worries. This goes beyond just writing. The door to healing will be opened by this holy ceremony, which is an individual act of faith and surrender. Writing out your suffering becomes a potent symbol. It gives expression to the things that have been weighing on you in silence by externalizing your invisible battles. Writing is a holy conversation with God, a vulnerable time in which you ask for spiritual healing and acknowledge your need for assistance. You will release this paper into the water at the conclusion of the day. Letting go is a practical approach to give your problems to God's care. It's like washing away the agony. This ceremony ushers in a new, lighter phase of your spiritual path and signifies the start of your liberation from the past. It's more than simply a practical step to put your worst traumas and worries in writing. It is an act of trust that is sacred. In addition to admitting your difficulty, putting your suffering into words invites God to meet you where you are. Because it necessitates vulnerability, this act demonstrates courage. Giving your inner wounds to a higher power who promises to cure them is what you're doing. Imagine the strength that comes from finally confiding in someone who genuinely listens. Writing is a private dialogue between you and God, a form of personal confession. The healing process starts with that trust, that surrender. It's a way of saying, I trust you with this pain. I surrender it because I believe you will carry it for me. This small deed turns into a representation of rebirth and optimism. It's a turning point when God's grace begins to pour freely and your past begins to fade. It serves as a reminder that healing entails changing suffering via faith rather than merely forgetting it. In many cultures and faiths, water has long been associated with purification and rebirth. Tomorrow, you are engaging in a timeless spiritual practice when you cast your written burdens into the river. This gesture represents letting God cleanse your soul and get you ready for a new beginning by washing away your suffering, anxieties, and previous traumas. Imagine your worries and sorrows tangibly leaving your hands as they drift away, growing lighter with every ripple, and your burdens dissolving into the river. This is not only a symbolic event, it's a genuine discharge of emotions. You're making a spiritual as well as mental decision to be free. You make a significant stride toward rejuvenation by the conclusion of this holy day, when you see the paper fade under the surface. You accept God's promise to clear your way and make room in your heart for peace, healing, and fresh starts. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. A God-selected warrior. You're not a victim of your situation. God has selected you as a fighter. Tomorrow is a day to conquer, not only to survive. God is preparing you for victory on your battlefield, which consists of the hardships you have endured, the trauma you bear, and the worry that consumes you. Consider how troops get ready for combat. They trust their superiors, train, and protect themselves. Your protection is the darkness tomorrow. The ritual of releasing is your weapon. And God himself is your commander. He fights to take away your troubles and guide you to victory. And he is by your side every step of the way. Dramatic conflicts are not always necessary for victory. It frequently results from trust, silent obedience, and surrender. You claim your win tomorrow by remaining undercover and performing your sacred ceremony. You come out lighter, stronger, and nearer to your divine purpose. Getting through the spiritual storm. If you are exposed to the rare sun energy of tomorrow, it might cause intense anxiety. You may experience abrupt spikes in tension, agitation, or even a nagging panic attack. Although these emotions might be frightening and confusing, they are a necessary element of the spiritual process that God is using to work through you. It's critical to acknowledge that these increases are intentional and transient. They clear the air and get your spirit ready for healing, much like emotional storms. However, these storms might become overwhelming, impairing your judgment and upsetting your tranquility if you disregard the warning and face the sun directly. Stay in the shade and take long, concentrated breaths to protect yourself. Keep your holy ritual near to your heart and center yourself in prayer or meditation. By doing this, you protect your spirit and welcome serenity, which lets God's healing force softly flow rather than being obstructed by worry. The voice of God amid the chaos. It might be challenging to clearly hear God's voice when things seem unclear and emotions are running high. However, the occurrence of tomorrow is a divine signal, a message from God encapsulated in solar energy. This indication might be a whisper, a restlessness, or even a strong desire to run away and give up your suffering. Take note of this inner prodding. God is leading you to safety and healing by reaching out to you through the turmoil. You must calm your mind and listen to your heart in order to recognize this summons. Feelings of urgency or pain should not be disregarded. They are God's method of keeping you safe. Respond to this summons with obedience and faith. By doing this, you make room for a closer relationship and more precise direction. God's presence will become evident and guide you toward serenity during the storm. A stronghold against invisible conflicts. The spiritual conflict that is going on around you is quite real, even if you cannot see it. These unseen forces will become more powerful tomorrow, challenging your soul by harnessing the energy of the sun as a catalyst. It's possible for old pains, resentments, and phobias to surface like shadows attempting to drag you down. You decide to protect yourself from these heightened conflicts by remaining in the shade. Your fortress is shade, a holy wall that repels evil forces and lets God's healing light gently operate inside of you. Keep in mind that you're not fighting this struggle to fail. It has to do with spiritual development. You fortify your defenses and become ready for triumph every second you are protected. Have faith in this holy shield. It's a part of what God has planned for you. Safeguarding your spiritual bond. Your relationship with God is sensitive and holy, particularly when you're going through a spiritual transformation. Even if it is strong, tomorrow's sun is dangerous. Direct exposure may cause this link to become distorted. You may have feelings of helplessness, confusion, or distance, as though your spiritual signal is being suppressed. Consider your spiritual connection to be a delicate thread. It may tear or shatter due to excessive strain or exposure to damaging energies. Avoiding direct sunlight is therefore essential. It keeps your strength and clarity intact while guarding this connection to God. You protect your spiritual force when you respect this protection. You give yourself permission to stay responsive, open, and linked to God's love and direction. Your greatest treasure is this relationship. Treasure it and protect it. A holistic haven for the soul and body. Avoiding direct sunlight tomorrow is not just for your physical protection. It involves building a comprehensive haven for your whole self. While physical shade provides instant protection from dangerous rays, mental cover is equally important. You provide your soul the room it needs to rest, recharge, and be ready for God's healing work when you physically protect yourself. Consider the shadow to be a safe haven where your soul may rest and recover without any hindrance. Your spirit must be protected from emotional and spiritual overload, just as your body needs to be protected from the heat. Your entire being is protected from the powerful forces that the sun will deliver tomorrow thanks to this dual protection. Protecting your ideas, feelings, and energies is what it means to have spiritual shelter. It entails setting boundaries that keep out negativity and bring in heavenly calm, as well as encircling yourself with prayer, meditation, and faith. Despite the maelstrom of ancient wounds seeking to surface, this holy barrier helps you remain composed and in control. Respecting both spiritual and physical shadow allows you to completely engage in God's plan. By treating your body and spirit with care, you create the opportunity for a thorough, all-encompassing healing that affects every aspect of your being. Your dedication to this protection will serve as the cornerstone for renewal tomorrow. The ability to move past trauma. One of the hardest yet most freeing things you will ever do is let go. You enter a terrible yet thrilling state of liberation when you surrender your traumas, anxieties, and worries to God. It's a relinquishment of authority that allows divine mercy to occupy the gaps. Forgetting what occurred or acting as though it didn't hurt is not the goal of this freedom beyond trauma. Rather, it's about turning your suffering into a source of power. It's about giving yourself permission to breathe deeply once again, walk lightly, and welcome a future free from the shadows of your past. Because trauma becomes ingrained in their identity, many people find it difficult to let go. They believe they will lose a part of themselves if they let it go. However, God's invitation for tomorrow serves as a reminder that your actual self is founded in His love and healing power rather than in suffering. You recover your life from the thing that held you hostage when you let go. The goal of this procedure is to become whole. It's a courageous act of faith that leads to joy, serenity, and a new sense of purpose. You begin your journey toward this vast liberation, a freedom that God longs to grant you tomorrow by letting go of your burdens. Divine protection and the unseen war. Spiritual forces are very real and active, even if you might not be able to perceive them, especially during times of major transition. The sun of tomorrow will heighten an invisible conflict between chaos and healing, light and darkness. These forces try to either uplift or disturb you by influencing your thoughts, feelings, and spiritual condition. This conflict might show itself as unexpected worry, disorientation, or emotional instability. However, it's crucial to keep in mind that it's not only random. Your faith and fortitude will be put to the test when you interact with your inner world in the spiritual realm. Understanding this enables you to appreciate the event of tomorrow on a deeper level. You are being protected by God, who is the supreme commander in this invisible conflict. However, He urges you to take an active role. You can link yourself with the powers of healing and light by praying, keeping in the shadow, and carrying out the holy ritual. Your obedience turns into a weapon and a shield. Knowing that you are protected by God provides you courage and strength because you know you are not fighting this battle alone.